Hello everybody, hope you're having an amazing Sunday. My name is Damulius, and last episode we killed off this bastard, the chairman, and yeah, now we are continuing on towards the rest of the place. I forgot what this place is called. Basically a prison area where Phineas is being held. Pit. This area apparently. Sanjar. Cheers, Sanjar. Hey, look Freddy. Sweet.
Waste of company ammo.
Cheers, Sanjar. But first, let's level up. Another perk available. Was there one for taking less air? No, that's for plasma. This might actually not be a bad one to take, considering when we are affected by end rays, we're gonna do more damage. There we go. Now hacking will also not be a problem.
Everything in my life has been leading to this point. I believe I'm ready for this.
Oh, good.
Never comes of this.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
Well, sucks to be you then. Oh, we're liberating Halcyon. There's not a damn thing you can do to stop us.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army?
Kinda does feel like that,
The
yeah.
iconoclasts and MSI have put aside their differences and attacked the prison together. I never imagined such a thing would be possible. But here we are. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion, and then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested.
She does love the sound of her own voice. Good on you for staying optimistic in your final moments.
I have no intention of dying on Tartarus, Captain. Not when there's so much work left to do. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct.
Yeah, good luck with
I
that.
have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. Well, you don't understand. Phineas is my friend. I'm not living without him.
Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I take no pleasure in this, you know. I simply have no other option.
I'm sure you don't.
Leaving you alive is too great a risk. Goodbye, Captain.
You're worse, just psychopath.
If you insist.
Milady.
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain.
I'm not even gonna do the
And
dirty
don't
work
worry.
yourself.
I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Ooh. That looks pretty cool. probably gonna shoot us, but it still looks cool. Right, let's see here. Perhaps shrinking that thing is a good idea. I have never used this thing before, so I have no clue if it's gonna be a help, but... Oh, fuck. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, fuck. It's only temporarily. Ow. Okay, perhaps trying the thing first so I know how it works would have been a grand idea. But... let's see here. Reduced armor and reduced damage. Oh, you have to keep it locked onto them. Okay. So that's probably not gonna be very...
I'll take your confession now.
Oh fuck, there's other shooting at me. Fuck. Ah! Get over, take me alive! Get him on the floor, please. Ah, fuck. Fucking hell. Okay, we have to fucking take care of these, have to figure out if the... Well, the machine gun is better or if this electric machine gun is better.
Never anger a man of the cloth.
Alright, now for body. Yep. Okay, you. Alright. Why the fuck are these things not dying? Thank you. Okay. Doesn't seem to be reviving our guys. Oh, what the hell was that? Okay, save in combat? No, you can't. Okay, that weapon of his hurts. What's he doing? Oh fuck yeah, more of these goddamn things. shooting the feet is not that super effective, but let's check how much damage. Okay, this thing does do more damage. Ow. What? Okay, this is a cool enemy, not gonna lie. I don't we have more fights like this in the game. I think in this case, actually, this one might actually be a better idea. Ah, suck a dick, bitch. No, you're gonna fly. Okay, maybe not. Ah! Fuck yeah! Nailed him. Oh hey guys, here have some healing. Not sure why you guys weren't re-revived by the effect earlier. I thought I had a perk that should allow me to revive you guys. They'll go dying. Use the inhaler. Yeah, they should be healed by that, but yeah, they weren't. Okay. Oh, whatever. Managed to kill the thing. That's what matters. It's kind of funny though that the gloop gun didn't work a second time. Maybe there's like an internal cooldown on the weapon that you can't gloop the same target too many times. Would make sense, I guess. That way you don't overpower someone with just that weapon alone. That was a fucking cool fight though, holy shit. Why don't we have more left fights like that? But that was easy. What happens if I do things in order?
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You're right, what did they do?
I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Well, I don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Earth is only an idea to us, but that idea is the bedrock the colony is built upon. If people were to find out it's gone dark, the shock could be too much to bear.
I don't want to imagine what will happen once news gets out. Let's just keep this between us for now.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Pretty much what I expected Earth to do, honestly. With a lot of work ahead of us, we best get started.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds. And then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Oh, you can count on me to help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
I guess. Lifetime employment program ruined and didn't get to read the rest.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale,
Oh, that's
his actions
Vicar Max.
altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, The groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Oh, shucks, they called me the brightest of all the colonists. Oh. I do think we pretty much got just about all of the positive endings that we could get. I mean, I did really dislike the part about Wells dying after 2 days, but pretty much everything else I'm very happy about. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. My name is Demulius, and well, this series is done, so I'm gonna have to find something else to do in the time that was allocated to this game. See you guys next time.